Hi everyone. Today we're more than 20 miles from anywhere in one of the most mysterious places in the Mojave, the Black Mountain Wilderness, to solve the mystery of the A. Tillman signatures. Far out in the Mojave Desert, in a rough and remote canyon, are three elaborate signatures pegged into the rocks along with hundreds of ancient petroglyphs. They were left by someone called A. Tillman during the summer of 1874. The A. Tillman signatures have been a Black Mountain mystery for more than a century, known only to perceptive travelers and tour guides who have spotted his name among the rocks, perhaps wondered who he was. The Black Mountain Wilderness is a really cool place. Here you'll find ancient pictographs and maybe even some depictions of spacemen. There's a possible Spanish treasure marker, mysterious stone structures, and even the occasional rattlesnake. The Tillman signatures are etched into the rocks of Black Canyon, a narrow passage along the west side of the Black Mountain Wilderness. A crew of Chinese laborers built this road with shovel and pickaxe back in 1874, providing a connection to the silver mines up north. This is the Panamint Stage Road today. In 1874, it connected the once rich Panamint silver mines 70 miles north to the San Bernardino ore processors and supply shops 70 miles south. In the 1870s, Panamint City was the area's largest silver producer. After the Meyerstein brothers and their Chinese crew completed the road through Black Canyon, stagecoaches loaded with supplies and silver ore traveled through weekly. Back then, if the train didn't get you, hostile Indians or outlaws would. Being so remote, stagecoaches in Black Canyon were easy prey to both. Holdups became such a problem that the Panamint mine began casting silver in 450-pound ingots, which made it impossible for roving thieves to carry off. Travelers passing through this canyon have documented their presence, or maybe their survival, on these rocks for centuries. A. Tillman was one of the earliest European visitors to leave his mark in Black Canyon. In 1874, he etched his name at least 3 times over 3 months and 8 rough miles of this desert road, and at the same time left important clues that can help us bridge 150 years of history and pinpoint exactly who this enigmatic man really was. The first clue are the signatures themselves. A. Tillman twice and Jane A. Tillman once. These signatures are stylish and elaborate and produced with pride. There must be a record of this name somewhere. Second, we have dates. One of the signatures has July 1874 and another has September 30th, 1874. These dates, combined with the name, will definitely help us zero in on A. Tillman. And the year probably connects Tillman in some way to the Panamint mines and the building of the Panamint Stage Road, the main reason for any activity in this area in 1874. Finally, we have a location. SF in one spot is spelled out clearly as San Francisco in another. Now, San Francisco is over 400 miles from Black Canyon, and in 1874, that journey could have taken several uncomfortable weeks. So what would possess A. Tillman and his companion Jay to journey 400 miles from San Francisco to this desolate spot during the summer of 1874? Thankfully, there are resources available these days that can help answer that question. We combed through the records on Ancestry.com and finally found an entry for one Augustus Tillman, a German immigrant who lived in San Francisco during the 1870s. And he was married to Jane Lynch. Was this the A. Tillman of Black Canyon? And was Jane the mysterious Jay? The mystery was starting to unfold. Ancestry records also show that Augustus and Jane had 7 children, including a son called John, born in 1867. Maybe John was the Black Canyon Jay instead of his mother Jane. Being only 7 years old at the time, it doesn't seem likely. However, on January 30th of 1874, Jane Lynch died tragically at the age of 32, just a year after giving birth to her daughter Annie. The Tillman children were left suddenly without a mother, and Augustus was left to raise them. Jane Lynch Tillman's obituary and funeral were listed in several newspapers for several days, a public honor that wasn't that common in 1874, showing just how dearly Augustus must have loved his wife. You know, it's not difficult to imagine a grieving husband on a soul-searching journey, out here in the desert, indelibly marking his wife Jane's initial next to his own in the rocks above the Black Canyon stage 5 months after her death. Or maybe he was a grieving father, entertaining his 7-year-old son John out here in the desert by chipping their names into the stones. A little digging in the California newspaper archive might explain why Augustus Tillman was at this exact spot in the Mojave Desert and why he was here in the summer of 1874. Augustus Tillman was not only a husband and a father, but he was an inventor. In 1873, Tillman and his business partner were awarded a U.S. patent for a harness attachment which made it easier to attach horses and gear to a harness assembly. In September of 1874, they were awarded another patent for a convenient improvement to their original design. Being a businessman, recently widowed with 6 mouths to feed, I imagine Augustus Tillman was in Black Canyon for business, selling his harness attachment to people who needed it, like stagecoach drivers and mine owners. He was here for at least 3 months, likely traveling all the way to Panamint and back between July and September, etching his name into the rocks of Black Canyon while passing time. Augustus Tillman's story doesn't end here in the Mojave Desert. He went back to San Francisco and eventually bought a property on 313 Minna Street. Lived there for 18 years. Doesn't look the same today. Tillman became prominent in San Francisco politics, becoming the 10th Ward Supervisor in 1890 and the 7th Precinct Inspector in 1898. And he served on the grand jury twice in 1898 and 1899. And he was a well-respected member of the San Francisco Volunteer Firemen's Association. Tillman must have been a generous man. Records show that in 1902, he bought a San Francisco vacant lot around the corner from his house for $10, then gifted it to a needy friend 5 days later. That lot is vacant again today, sort of, and probably worth $10 million today. Augustus Tillman died on January 18, 1905. His obituaries and extensive funeral are testament to how well loved he was in San Francisco at the time. His sister held services at her house on Haight Street, just about where that gate is today. And his funeral was at St. Boniface Church, which was completely destroyed in the San Francisco earthquake the following year. The Volunteer Firemen's Association honored him at this building on 4th and Jesse, which was once their headquarters. Augustus Tillman was also a member of the California chapter of the Iroquois Club, a little-known social club that has completely disappeared since then. In a final newspaper tribute, they honored him as one of the oldest and most respected members and joined other members from the Nevada and Oregon chapters at a San Francisco restaurant to celebrate his life. Augustus Tillman is buried here in Holy Cross Cemetery of San Francisco, next to his wife Jane, who was moved here from Calvary Cemetery to be by his side. It's a peaceful spot with a much better climate than the Mojave Desert. I hope this video sheds some light on the intrepid A. Tillman, whose mysterious signatures out here in Black Canyon have prompted questions and speculation for many years. I think A. Tillman was a loving husband and father, an entrepreneur and inventor willing to travel wherever necessary to succeed, even if that meant coming all the way from San Francisco to the Black Mountain Wilderness here in the arid Mojave Desert. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.